Okay, well, welcome everyone to the fourth official Connacht Clan AGM. You all have a copy of the schedule there in front of you. The second item on the agenda is the presentation of financials for this previous season, so we'll just get started with that. On the back page you can see the figures, and if we just run through the major outgoing costs. First off, we have the PA. Those PA costs involve the mixer, which is also our amplifier, speakers, microphones, and cabling for those. The second thing there we have is signs. Those include all the signs that you see newly put up around the clan bar, which we got from A1 signs. We have the merchandise next. That's the clan fleeces and the samples and the costs that went along with organising that. The pennants are the pennants that we gave out to visiting supporters clubs and that we presented to supporters clubs when we travelled away. Prizes and trophies include the prizes and trophies that were given out for the player of the season, young player of the season, the signed jerseys that went out at table quizzes and stuff like that. Server costs are obviously the costs that we paid to hostingireland.com for the use of their hosting infrastructure on which we host the connachtclan.com website. That also includes the domain name registration costs. Current account fees are fees paid to our bank account, to the bank, and transportation of 300. That is for the bus that we put on for the Munster trip, which we covered in full. We didn't ask the attendees to contribute to that. AGM hospitality, that's for the previous year's AGM. And the table quiz prize actually is a separate item. Framing includes the costs of the framing for the various items that we've put up around the bar, including, for example, the Hall of Fame photos. Toulouse stuff, yeah. And the fleeces distribution cost, that's for postage and packaging of fleeces. The fleeces brought us back in the combined total of what you see there, the fleeces into account figure and the cash figure. So that's in total €456. And yeah, that basically goes through it all. I'll open to questions from the floor. If anyone's any questions about the financials.
Just to clarify before there's any questions, that this doesn't include sponsorship that we took in, and it doesn't include sponsorship that we gave out, because both of those were covered under commercial reasons. We didn't ask not to disclose that. So.
Will you take it into account in the final balance?
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no more questions, we'll move on. So item number 3 is a season wrap-up for the previous season. If you were to read through the welcome statement there, we have it mostly covered. Major items that we undertook last season were improvements to the clan bar and an increased visibility of the Connacht Clan in the clan bar, as well as improvements to the travel organisation, which, hands up, we have to say, we got a lot of help from members who actually weren't officially part of the committee and who now are. That's Kieran Patterson and Kieran MacDonald. And the other thing we wanted to do was to provide the Connacht Clan with a PA system for all of our public engagements, which we also have done. not sure if I'm forgetting anything there.
The general bar improvements, we spent a lot of evenings, I can't remember how many, at least 10,
There
12,
were some evenings where we turned up.
Yeah. where we were in the can bar getting that particular side of it kind of squared off.
Between the PA took us 3 or 4 nights, between doing all the merchandise, that was another 3 or 4 nights.
Yeah.
Signs
And big thanks as well to Barry Dolan and for his involvement in getting the place wired up for the
And
PA.
Aaron isn't here, he should.
And Aaron, of course, yeah. Okay. So there's
I think one of the big things that we achieved this year was the doll.
Do we want to just go through the actual
Yeah.
speech?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So we announced, a partnership with Doll Bar. We actually we arranged with the Doll Bar, and we successfully achieved having every match, every away match of Connacht that was televised. We had it on show there. So supporters always knew that there was a place there where they could go and watch the games, and we're glad to announce that we'll be continuing our partnership with the Doll Bar for the coming season.
Yeah, it seemed to be very well received and performed and all that, so
Yeah.
can't see any reason to change it.
It gives us a bit of stability going forward as well. People are
They've
used to
been
it.
very good to us.
Been,
They've
yeah,
been
we have a
very
great
good.
relationship with them, so.
They're very good to be easy to deal with.
Yeah, everything that we've ever asked for, it's being done freely. We don't have to even bother asking. They come to us, so yeah.
We sponsored Matt Healy, and that was our first time sponsoring a Connacht player, and it was great. We had all of the money was paid for through donations by various Connacht Clan members, people, supporters, normal supporters get involved, and we ended up sponsoring a player, which obviously has a direct financial benefit for the club that we're all supporting, and it's great to have our name associated with a player who actually did really well for us this season. So that was fantastic. And in fact, the donations were so generous that we actually have money left over to contribute towards sponsoring a player this season, which is fantastic.
We won't be looking for donations again this year. We'll be just
Make up the rest of the balance.
I'd suggest that if you people want to donate, by all means, facilitate them. I would have
keep going over that.
Yeah.
For next year again, we may have enough to coach two players, or even the one player without having to contribute anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I definitely leave it open to people because they're kind of going, for 20 quid we,
as long as people are happy with it, then we're happy to accept
just
it.
kind of say, I couch it in those terms, in that we're not looking for
We
money.
have
But-
kept that fund separate so that people who do contribute to it will always know that that money is going towards direct sponsorship of players.
Because again, if you could sponsor another player and they came through, it's shown
The value of
really goodwill towards the branch as well. The branch saying, "Oh, this is money." I mean, that money that we paid for Matt Healy was money that they wouldn't have got.
Yeah.
So we need to
Promote that
if we
benefit,
can,
yes.
Yeah, if we can get another player sponsored, and then there's 2 players sponsored by the clan.
Sure.
All of a sudden, these boys are players. We're all of a sudden we're in the marketing game with them, and they might start to take this more. So I would give the opportunity to people who want to get involved in it again, and I would put it in the same in the way that lads, if you want to help us with sponsoring a player, we have so much money, we have one player covered. If you want to do it again, and we'll keep this open. Anyone that hasn't done it, we're not asking people who don't actually to do it.
Yeah.
But keep it open.
Yeah, that's a good point. We won't close that off. So.
I don't think we got a huge amount of value for money out of the sponsorship. We often get to see Matthias ourselves.
Yeah.
He did appear in the Clan Bear twice for interviews, but so did a lot of other players that we didn't sponsor.
Yeah.
Like Owen Griffin probably did as many, if not more, interviews. We probably should have had at least one event with Roll Bear with him turning up or something like that.
We'll take that on board. That's definitely something we need to improve on.
Yeah.
If we're going to continue sponsoring players, we need to make sure that we get as much value out of them as any other sponsor would. We're not in it.
They stopped calling out the sponsor when they scored.
Yeah.
Matt had such a good first couple of months.
Yeah.
Every time he scored a try, he got.
Yeah.
He's our top try scorer. Or up in the top
He
2 or
was
3.
close enough.
Yeah.
It's certainly one of the highest strike rates. Okay, and then the next thing on the list of achievements is the improvements to the clan bar. So that includes the signage that we put up to increase the visibility of the Connacht Clan, the merchandise that we put up to sorry, not merchandise, the souvenirs, memorabilia, that's the word. That we put up to help people, you know, feel a connection to us. Like we are a supporters club. We want people to realise that it's open to everyone, and obviously the PA, which has been very helpful.
All of the merchandise was donated by clan members.
Or the branch.
So I know Kieran McDonald gave
The Herald
the
jersey.
Harlequin, which is probably one of the highlights.
Yeah.
I know himself and Seapoint gave flags.
The flags from the old ICRC.
He was there for the last.
Two of the bigger flags.
No, it's a great fact. I think they really make pride. It's the two old kind of independent supporters club flags hanging down. They look fantastic.
I think we need one up at the minute. I think the
Yeah,
other
we're
was
just
too big. We're talking about.
We needed to get a bigger ladder. Basically, we couldn't get up high enough.
Yeah.
Basically. And we didn't fancy scaling the walls, so
Yeah, we got our feds from Saracens
we got the fez from Saracens, and we
It's
got
a good
the.
start. We
Yeah.
keep building on.
We have, of course, the Toulouse things, the
Yeah.
Toulouse set that we got from the peak, which looks fantastic there actually. So it's great.
Yeah, we're getting a few pens together left side of the door there.
Yeah, hopefully it'll turn into a proper
Yeah.
grown into a proper clubhouse here. Of course, the next thing that we had. Sorry, was there? The next thing that we had there is the bus to Thomond Park for the Munster match. That actually worked out really well, and I was on it, and I really enjoyed it. People who went on it, I think, really saw the benefit of the Connacht Clan, and they were enthusiastic about what we were doing, and we were enthusiastic about the fact that, you know, we provided this just off the bat. I think it's something that we need to consider continuing. The Munster match is a great one to target because it's a short trip. It's down and back. A lot of people who go to Dublin will stay up for a weekend or visit family or something like that. So it's harder to organise enough critical mass to.
There's no shortage of transportation to and from Dublin as it is.
Yeah.
Getting in and out of Limerick is
A little less easy, so it's a little bit easier to round up enough people if you're given them an easy option to get down and back. So that was.
Yeah, we're probably going to do something again. I know Peter had spoken to you about it sometime during the year. What we might do this year, instead of having it for free, maybe have some small surcharge that we can put down, book a bigger bus.
Yeah,
Try and get more people on board.
I try and have
Because there was a lot of people coming in and dropping out, coming in and dropping out. A lot of turnover on it.
It was a bad time because it was just after Christmas. And
Yeah,
was
it is.
awful.
The weather was,
I
yeah.
remember Donal had 4 people and they
Yeah, they
couldn't get in to go and couldn't get the ferry in.
So, when is it?
October, isn't it? No. Or the home games maybe.
I think if you had, there's lots of things that you can have that would be revenue neutral, and I think that if you aim for that as opposed to giving freebies, because people by and large, it's a great idea, and I'm not knocking it, and I think we should be looking at maybe organising buses to 3 away intros. Now, I take on board what you're saying is that up and down to Dublin isn't a major thing, and people do their own thing anyway. And to be honest, the bus doesn't suit me anyway because I have to travel an hour to get the bus.
Yeah.
Unless it's to Limerick, which you might get in. But I charge a tenner, and if there's 30 people on it, and you've covered your costs, and it's still a great value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
There's 2 different ways of looking at it, I suppose. Like it did attract people that wouldn't normally have been, I'd say, on the forum or kind of, really
that's all good
involved.
too,
So there are 2 different ways of looking at it. Maybe we could take 2 different approaches.
That was always the main, with the merchandise as well, that was always one of the things we were catch something as well, some money making venture for. As you can see, we haven't made money on the pieces. It's a little bit cheap to sell, but even if we did sell them all, we still just about be.
we just covered.
We're making, I think, €2,
We'd be in the black.
€3 on each.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, Yeah, which, and the point was never to generate a few bob, it was to get the logo out there, get people seeing it. You know, that's what's for the store.
And the thing about it, as I was saying, the away trips, they can be, I mean, they can be difficult in that, especially to the Belfast and the Dublin. A lot of people will have very different plans, and it can be hard to get a critical mass of people who want to do the same kind of thing. So sometimes in those cases it's better just to give them options and arrange maybe a place to be. But it's something that we talk through thoroughly every season. So we're never going to default to not committing.
To do a bus to Limerick, get people on it early,
Yeah.
charge an annual fee that can be paid as early as possible so that people will commit to it.
Yeah.
And then if they can't make it, then that they tell the people as soon as possible. They don't get the money back, but that's
Yeah.
the way it goes. And then you can in confidence book a decent sized bus, and you can have a right cut, you know. As again, not a money making venture, but a PR exercise. And then we're bringing.
Yeah.
You can see half times or a match or something like that. Few games in the
Yeah.
Or a sign up sheet somewhere.
Or just, you know, have it out early in the season and say we are going. There will be a bus going to this.
Do you know if it's in Thomond or Musgrave this year?
Someone had said it's on in March, but
Yeah, we actually wanted to do it the previous season, but it fallen.
Musgrave.
Downtown Musgrave, yeah. Just didn't sit right for this. So yeah, we'll see what the fixtures are like.
we're playing Ulster away, I think, on Stephen's Day, the day after Stephen's Day.
Well, again, guys, let's not get too far
Yeah.
ahead of ourselves.
Right.
That's actually a decision for next year's committee.
Yeah.
Let's face it, it's probably a lot of us will be involved in, but we really should follow the procedure, I suppose. Anyways, the next item on the list is the merchandise. So the fleeces actually were well enough received. Aside from a problem with the sizes, they actually came in. They're a little bit funny in that they have short sleeves for their relative sizes. So everyone kind of went up a size from what we estimated, and we ended up with far too few of the larger sizes. That's something that we've taken on board, and when we are
Only
doing
went up to
more,
XL as well. I think, which actually
they only went up to XL.
wasn't
Yeah.
really that big, so
So we.
yeah.
So next season if there is more merchandise purchase, we'll definitely be bearing in mind that we need to keep an eye on getting larger sizes. We wanted to do a waterproof all-weather jacket as well, and we were very, very, very close to getting that done at an excellent cost.
Really nice jacket.
And it was a very nice jacket, but it fell through at the last minute due to a lack of stock from the original manufacturer, and the replacement that we were offered was double the cost, which really would have
It's a pity
taken
because
the
it was really, really nice.
taken the wind out of the sails. I would have.
Just very disappointed.
Yeah,
It was a great jacket, it was a brilliant jacket.
It would have sold gangbusters.
It was green, which was unusual for a bit of Connacht merchandise.
It was.
It was
It was
brilliant.
bright green. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep looking, I suppose.
The next thing is during the year we held a successful table quiz during which we raised over €600 for Hand in Hand, which is the West of Ireland Children's Cancer Society, which we're very proud of, and is something that we'll seek to continue to do. Hand in Hand actually were one of the official charities that Connacht were involved in, and I think that we can try and keep that kind of synergy going in the future. So we were very pleased with that.
I think the timing for that was quite good as well, because it was 106 nations, and there wasn't a lot happening in Connacht, so it was such a great get trimmed off the form or whatever. So it's good to kind of keep it from issue.
The next thing there is the player seasons, which was only one. There was only a player of the season and young player of the season who both went to Kieran Marmion. So that was interesting. We had a couple of long discussions about how exactly this should work.
That's the easy
mechanisms.
one. The player of the year was the evening discussion. All of Fame was.
Yeah, we also have long talks about the Hall of Fame, who should be eligible, who shouldn't. I think we've published the we published all of the conclusions that we came to on the forum, and those are officially the rules now that we're following
Until next year.
until someone else comes up with something. Yeah. And of course, yes, a big thank you to Pinky and Four Dogs, who did absolutely excellent work, helping out and getting everyone organised on our away trips. They're officially now our travelling committee, subcommittee, travelling subcommittee, and so it's great to have them on board, and that's something that we hope to continue to do, is suck more people in, handcuff them to.
Just said before you come in that it's great the travel plans that are there and the effort that you put in, because someone goes onto the forum and they're kind of going, will I go, won't I go, sure, how do you get to there? And next thing you have it all done, so they're kind of going, actually that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And next thing there's another 3 or 4 people going, and it snowballs from there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
That's
just
the kind of the idea was that we'd have it ready to go as soon as the fixtures are confirmed, that you'll be able to say, okay, this is the best way to get there, and then if there's a couple of possible fixtures that are very awkward, you know, so kind of then, you know, the kind of charter flight or whatever that could come into play.
you know, just see different ways of getting to places as well that you never even think of it, like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, when we went to Biarritz last time, I mean, it was Paris and then down to Biarritz, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
You know? Getting the arse of the way home when we missed a flight.
That's never fun. Yeah, and of course, so I think we have increased activity not only on Facebook, we also have more followers on Twitter.
I don't think we had Twitter this time last year.
We had
We did.
Oh, we did. We had the sign.
We had both.
We had our sign. I think.
We have both, but they you know, thanks to people staying involved with them, and you know, the supporters who do retweet our tweets, who use our hashtags, you know, it's grown a little bit, and that's great. And the same with the forum. You know, people who are involved in the forum are staying involved in the forum, and they're coming to trips and they're getting involved in meetings, which is great to see. One thing that we would like to do is maybe try and organise how we use our hashtags. We don't have a consistent hashtag, you know, we don't have one that's maybe stand up for, you know, you have stand up for the Ulstermen for Ulster, you have come on you boys in blue for Leinster. We need to try and find something that we can do for that is genuinely you know, a calling card for Connacht Clan on these social media outlets as well. So work done, but work to do. So I guess that's it really for the wrap up.
Let's go under this.
Google Plus, yeah. I think
Is it on the side? Yeah.
it is, yeah.
Dennis made me put it on the side.
I just mentioned that it was there. But yeah, no, we probably need. There are actually some platforms that, you know, will uniformly put information out across various social media platforms, which is probably something we should look into. So that's it for the season wrap up. I will open the floor, open to questions from the floor again, comments, anything before we move on. No? Okay, great. So looking ahead to 2014-15, as I said, we've kind of mentioned a few ideas already as we went through what we did last season. One of the major things coming up is we're going to upgrade the platform that we're running the website on. That should hopefully allow us a bit more flexibility in terms of features that we can offer on the site. And obviously we want to keep building on the work that we put in last season in terms of travel, visibility of the clan, visibility of the clan on social media and in the real world. So yeah,
in terms of events, we want to keep everything going as well. We're going to have a table quiz at some point. We're going to have this at some point. One thing that we didn't do this year, well, we didn't really do it. We had Christmas drinks. Formally, the thought, I think it was John that brought up in the forum. We'd like to do some kind of Christmas party this year. If the dates, it can be tricky to get the dates to fall the right way.
Yeah.
That's
Okay. Before we elect the committee members, really, we can only kind of make suggestions. But if anyone does have suggestions for the stuff that we should concentrate on next season, now would be the time to raise them.
I'd like to see, similar to the way that the Dáil has rolled in behind the Connacht Clan and vice versa, would it be possible to get a guest house or a hotel to row in behind and offer decent rates for the non-Galway clan members? Because that's the one thing that stops me from staying up on a regular basis. I don't think you want to stay in a hostel.
Okay, right.
I'm down with all hostels. But if there was a B&B, a nice B&B somewhere that would say, do a clan rate, and it could be advertised on the it could work both ways.
Yeah.
Put out them as on our website, another sort of sponsor.
Yeah, for as a partner or something like this. Obviously, we need to check with all of our principal sponsors need to be aware of the situation before they can commit to it. So that's something that we need to just check on. But and actually we did do something similar. I think in the first season we went around and we compiled a list of accommodation. As we were doing that, we did ask a couple of them for discounted rates. We actually got a 10% off rate in Barnacles, I think, which is a hostel. But I think that maybe it's something that we can look into doing again. Why not?
We came up now for the Cardiff game, and 80 quid was the cheapest we would get from this time. That's a lot to fork out for.
Yeah.
I know you're wonderful at it.
So yeah, that's definitely something.
Just a basic, it doesn't have to be. It just might work that if they have rooms available that. If they're filling up every night, every match night as well, it'd be good for them.
Yeah.
I know that the branch has said to us, or Rugby has said to us, that they're obviously part of the Connacht, which is just quite close. But I think that's where the visiting matches tend to stay if they're staying.
Yeah.
And that they're starting to partner with Clúchán, which I think has rooms in Clúchán. So I don't think it's. Is it not? Is it not? Yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe we could piggyback on the Connacht thing, but if they were going to give the decent rate, for the likes of, there's not less travel up and Sligo on a regular basis than Leitrim, so, the more the better.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that we can check with Connacht about as well. I mean, this year something that we were thinking of doing is finding a way to have official membership of the club, and if that is the case, perhaps there's an extra benefit that we can wrangle out of some of these deals. But again, that's a question for the following committee. Is there any further suggestions, perhaps?
Maybe give them something like a badge or something for each member or something like that.
Yeah, definitely something.
Definitely something that we've been talking
Pin
about.
kind of things.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
great.
Everyone loves pins.
Yeah.
Will we talk about that now?
Yeah, it's something that we did actually look into towards the end of the season, just as a kind of a precursor.
Which we have quotes for, which we have mock-up for, I think, we have prices for, and we had kind of discussions ourselves about how we were going to sell them. Nothing has been ordered, obviously, because we're just coming up to the end of the end of the season, so it's a decision for next season's committee. But yeah, certainly.
It actually came up as part of the
Suggestions.
suggestions thread that was ran on the forum.
Which we
discussed
actually,
it.
we broke that thread down, all the different comments that were made, and we went through them all in committee meetings.
Yeah, we went through them all, and like a couple. For example, we did go through the car stickers suggestion as well. We got quotes from that with help from Galway Gas. And it's something that we don't want to overlap too much on, you know, if we're doing pins and car stickers, we don't want to invest too much upfront in merchandise because we need. I don't have figures on it.
£3.95 a piece.
minimum.
Sorry?
Including that.
Including that, minimum order of 100. So there was a couple of logistics that we had to think of. The next committee had to think through about
23% that.
Yeah, 23% of that, yeah.
But if you were to, I don't know whether this is feasible or not, you could get someone to VAT register business to buy them. They then came back to VAT and they could then sponsor them to the clan.
That's not
So that's 400. Take away a fifth of that. We're talking a sponsorship of 300. Will get you.
We'll get to the 100
We'll get to the 100 pence.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Anything to save money.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely something to take
So
on
it's
board.
just something to leave the ways around. That's a quarter of your cost. Straight away.
You've all, any waste sporters, we buying the money with it.
Right.
In my past.
I got a funny feeling.
Yeah, and away it is something that also that away supporters will probably want to buy.
Yeah.
Something
You know,
similar.
if you're selling that way for €4.99 and you're making €1 each, I mean,
That's
most people tell you if it's a good quality one,
Yeah.
most people will get it, it's something you'll have forever.
Yeah.
You know, and like that, it's something you could
Well,
not.
hopefully a couple of them will lose them.
Oh, yeah. but it's something that will keep regenerating. And
Yeah.
if you were making 50 cents each one, you're not ripping
It's-
anybody off.
exactly.
And again, it's revenue. It's making a few pennies.
And
that's-
it's getting the name out there, which is important.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further suggestions before we move on to the
Well, Rob,
serious?
The committee, whoever's on the committee is always open. Like, pretty much everybody that was on the committee this year is active on the forum. I imagine everybody around the table here is active on the forum, so whoever's going to be on the committee next year is going to be active on the forum. Everybody's open to suggestion. I don't think anybody is precious about it.
No, we have a thread there
Commission,
for
committee,
improvements.
or
We have a whole section for improvements and ideas.
Yeah.
On the forum, so.
I think one thing that the clan has to get a lot better at is PR. So we
Yeah.
discussed before the week started.
We did have it, yeah.
And as in like PR with the branch themselves, as in to big themselves up, or ourselves up to just to the kind of branch, and just to say this, hey, we are good, we are organising these things, we are putting the Connacht Rugby on our map, and we're helping you at the same time.
One thing I seen yesterday, actually, the kind of club actually put up about the HMs.
Good.
Well, they did,
The
yeah.
BJ.
Yeah, that's what it should be. It should be lovely two-way street, but
We're all pulling in the same direction at the end of the day, and yeah, we know how much we can bring to the table, and it's just a matter of making sure that the guys involved in Connacht Rugby also are aware of what we can achieve. So that's definitely something that we should take on.
Probably just even in the local press or whatever, I don't know if we actually send something to local newspapers when we're organising stuff or whatever, but sure.
Yeah.
Is there any point in that?
have we got a PR?
Aaron is our
PRO.
PRO. We did, something we were very good at not the season was gone, but the season before, we were very good at making contact with the independent, making contact with the advertiser and the Connacht Tribune about bigger events, especially the Heineken Cup matches. But we didn't do an awful lot of this year, which we probably should have done, but because everything was in the Dáil this year, it made it a little bit easier to get the word out. Last year we were going from pub to pub to pub. So it was more important for us to get
Maybe we're looking into more print ads and stuff like that.
Even just
Not even print ads.
but just in articles, you know, when the local papers are doing their preview of the match or whatever, if there was just something stuck at the end of the article.
Yeah. Get in linked to
yeah.
But even you know, the Connacht Clan had their AGM and was attended by lots of people, and it's all relative. And you put in a little press release into the local papers,
Yeah.
And, you know, and when I say local, you put it into the Galway papers, Mail papers, Sligo papers, you know, just send it off, and if they pick it up, they pick it up, if they don't, they don't.
That is something that, I mean, none of us really have any experience with press involvement, I don't think. And I was PRO for first season of the Connacht Clan, and it was difficult to know, to gauge what the reaction was to press releases. But I think it's a matter of persistence, and
Let's be very honest, you just ask them. You know, if we give you press releases on the clan thing, we're not going to be plaguing you. Will you give us another run?
yeah,
You know, run with them, I just see, because the last trip we were on to Meyrick, I was talking to, I think he's an editor of one of the local papers.
yeah,
And we're chatting mad kind of thing.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, they'd be open to
Is
you know,
the main-
to abuse the situation.
Yeah, the main thing I think for press releases, especially for free sheets and stuff like that, is you pretty much have to have the article fully
It's
written
fully-
for them,
yeah.
because and they'll just stick it in and put their name on it.
Yeah.
But because they don't want you don't want to create work for them basically.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, but
We should have put your match up tonight instead of
Yeah, Jesus. That would have been brilliant. Volunteered yourself there.
But we need to, before say we ever get to the branch and sit down with the branch, then we need to have a list of all the things that we've done
Yeah.
and what we're hoping to do,
Sure.
and that they know where we're going and know what we're doing. You know, we can say, yeah, hey, we did this and we did this and we did this, and we exchanged opinions with other supporters clubs and we're in liaison with other supporters clubs.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're getting close to our time here actually, so we should move on to point 5, which is the election of committee members for next season.
So the current committee is myself, Dennis, Ian, Shane, and Aaron, who isn't here.
I'm the official procedure is that a person either volunteers themselves or is volunteered, seconded, and approved. Okay, so I am happy to take up a role on the Connacht Clan committee again, so I'm going to volunteer to do that.
Second.
Great, and unless there's an objection, it's going to be approved. Shut up, lads. So that's approved.
I volunteer.
I'll second.
I volunteer.
Second.
I volunteered.
And second. Okay, so any objections?
What's Aaron doing? Is Aaron willing to?
I think we should. I'll nominate Aaron,
And yeah, I'll second them.
and with the option, Aaron is really busy at the moment.
He's very busy.
He's
Yeah.
really busy, and he said to us that he probably wouldn't be able to be here. So if he can't commit the time next
But
year,
that's but I don't think that should preclude him from actually being part of
No,
the committee.
no,
You know,
absolutely
if he
not.
doesn't have the time to go to every meeting, that's
That's
fine.
fine,
But
yeah.
he shouldn't feel that he can't be on the committee if he's not going to be at every meeting, and neither should anyone here.
Okay, and so let's just approve all of those
And,
in one go, unless there's objections, of course.
So, have we any other volunteers? Kieran's already on a subcommittee.
I'll give it a lash or
Yeah, great,
Sure.
excellent. I'll second Kieran.
I don't know what I gave to what's on me, so I'll send that.
Do you want to volunteer or?
No, I won't because I won't be,
That's fine. That's fine. No worries, no worries. I'll volunteer. Great.
Yeah.
And approved. Okay, so that's great. That's great. That's really good.
great.
So that's the election of committee members. The official positions of committee members is not elected at this meeting. It's elected at the first committee meeting, which we will set for a time that suits everyone.
Maybe next week sometime I'll be on holidays for a couple of weeks. I think you guys are as well.
I'm on holidays from Sunday week for 2 weeks.
Maybe we might decide the time of the committee meeting at the unofficial at the post
Sure,
AGM.
sure. We'll have a chat about it then. Okay. All right. So that brings order. So finally, point 6 is any other business. Anyone want to raise any points that weren't covered in the official agenda?
I think I've met more people
through the clan this year than I have in the previous years, and that's
It's very good, yeah.
really good for me.
Yeah.
Especially what is put up on the forum about just putting yourself, your details down kind of thing,
Yeah.
is brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, especially you know, Pinky, 4 dogs, and you yourselves, but
I think a big thing is people actually being able to put a face to the name on the
Yeah,
forum.
exactly,
Like
yes.
if people could upload a picture of themselves, or if you get to know people, it's a lot better. It's a lot more community rather than
I
anonymous.
think that community is building over time, and I think it's a snowball effect, right? It starts off small and it gathers pace, and that's something that we just have to keep on top of, is to make sure that that momentum keeps going. It might take a while to reach where we want to get to in the end, but you know, we'll get there.
There was one other point I wanted to raise, and when I listed the existing committee members, I left out Pauline, who was the
Oh, yeah,
treasurer
of
and
course.
was on the committee, and isn't present. And the second thing was that there's a list of other people we should probably thank. I know we had that in the last
Yeah.
AGM pamphlet, but we've mentioned a lot of them anyway, but Ronan Byrne is one,
Yeah.
Dennis Laffey, sorry, Dennis Limer.
Yeah, and let's
Kieran McConnell, obviously.
Kieran
Kieran,
McConnell.
yeah.
Conjunction with
yeah, and
Warren Galvin.
yeah,
Yeah.
Larry Dolan. Oh, yeah, Warren for his excellent work on the apps, keeping
Yeah.
those up to date. And I'm sure we're forgetting loads of people.
Yeah.
But you know, it's great that we have that community building, and thanks to everyone who we've forgotten to mention specifically here today. But, yeah. So
Okay.
I think that brings the meeting to a close.
Great.
Thanks everyone.
Is there a mini bear in here?
Yeah, in there somewhere. Yeah, it's well stocked.
41 minutes, that's